Hi everyone, this is EstaRa with a message for you today. Let me move the microphone so it's not blasting in your ears. I hope it's not. It is Tuesday, March 28th, 2017. Happy new moon. So the new moon came in last evening at 10:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, and I felt a shift when I woke up this morning. I actually went to bed right before that, and I felt this like lighter energy this morning when I got up. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Do I still feel hazy and crazy? Absolutely, I do. So lots to catch you up with, and I want to apologize up front right away that I might be a little all over the place because I have been in this weird off state of mind for the last week since the equinox, since right before the equinox, actually. So here's some interesting information going on right now, and I actually made notes because let me tell you, this is take number 5. I've had massive problems with this recording the last few days, so I've been trying to do this video for some time now. I did write my energy thoughts that you'll find in a link below. Click on the blog and you'll find the updated energy thoughts about what's happening energetically right now. I try to do those a couple times a month. It doesn't always get out to be a couple times a month, but I do try to make that happen. Okay, so lots of stuff going on. Last week I received lots of emails from people, and myself included, feeling hazy, weird, and I feel like out of body, couldn't ground, felt kind of confusion roaming around in the world. So that was like a common energy. Oh, and exhaustion. A common energy from everybody that's in the world right now, I think. It's also very common specifically for twin flames, and I'll explain a little more about what that's about. Last week. So let's start with first the eclipses. So remember all the eclipses in February and March, all that energy was like massive transformation energy that was coming in. Didn't feel really good at the time. Still hasn't felt very good. My guides told me back on the last eclipse cycle, they said, the end of the eclipse cycle, they said to me, hold on, you have 6 more weeks of this energy of purging, clearing, cleansing, all that stuff happening. So that was really a good message, because the truth is we're not in the 6 weeks yet. 6 weeks will be in a couple weeks. And I'm thinking, because I just want to be done with this like energy of chaos. So that was very much a beginning of what was coming. So the equinox energy started moving in a little over a week ago, and actually a little more than a week ago. And as it was moving in, so when you think of equinox, it's about balance, right? It's about, 12-hour day, 12-hour night, so it's a balance of energy. And so prior to that, we're all like spinning around in chaos and craziness, all these things were happening. So, some of us were here, some of us were there. It was just like not a balance. So the equinox came in and it was resetting us. The job was to reset, right? So the resetting, so if you're here and the energy is moving, it's like trying to rebalance itself and reset itself. And so that's the key of what was going on with the equinox energy. It's all about resetting us and balancing us, bringing us back into a place of balance. So whatever's out of balance will be really in your face and shown to you. And whatever is in balance will like kind of not even be seen, So a lot of the imbalances were being shown to you over the last couple weeks. The cool thing is it brought us into a place of balance for what's coming. So our next energy movement is this moon, this magical new moon. And I say magical because I have high hopes for this moon. I have high hopes for this time. I feel like lots of energy, things are happening. So, I was feeling kind of out of it last week. I also had the back injury thing going on. I also had, crazy schedule. I'm learning to navigate it better, and recognizing that I can't always do things the way that I want them to be done. Like ideally, I would be able to work as many hours as I want, but I have to be very balanced with that. So I was in this energy of like, oh gosh, what is going on? I feel out of body. I'm not like clear. I felt hypersensitive and then confused. Hypersensitive and then confused, like hyper clear and then confused. And I didn't know what that was. And I remember using the words, I feel confused. And my friends corrected me and they're like, you never say you feel confused. That is so not you speaking. That is totally your twin flame. And when I stepped back from it and I recognized that, I felt it. I felt a shift within me as soon as I said that. But I couldn't stay in this like balance. It was like I was being pulled into a different energy. And so what I did was I went through it. I felt it. I allowed myself to go in the emotions and the feelings. And then through it, I started to really work with my guides. And I'm like, I need clarity. I don't know what's going on with me. And the clarity that I got it's really kind of cool, was that my twin flame is in this massive wake-up call. And the massive wake-up call has placed him into like a spiral of energy, and he's in this confusion energy. He's not sure how to do it. Now, those of you who've known me for as long as you've known me and my twin, he's been in confusion before. He's been in the spiral. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. It's different this time. Now, remember back in January, the energy was all about awakening. And it's funny, I just saw his birthday on my clock. I love it. And I've been seeing his birthday all day today, everywhere I went. It's just everywhere. So when back in January, I think, or February, I channeled my guides were saying that it's really the divine masculine. He's opening his heart. He's starting to open, it's awakening his heart, being in love, awakening to love, or something to that effect. And that was really powerful and true, because the reality is their energy's been open. They're now open. They're a little softer. And it's making it possible for them to feel things differently, experience things differently. But what's interesting is, I'm saying this to you, and I'm sure you're all like, well, yeah, we know that. But really, what's happening on the physical realm? Well, they're softer, they're opening more, which means that things are hitting them differently. Things are coming in differently, and they're receiving them in a way they've not been able to receive them before. So let's step back for a moment. About a year ago, a little longer than a year ago, there was this massive awakening going out to all twin flames, a call to action. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. They're receiving it in their dreams. You are receiving it. Your beloved's receiving it. It's time to wake up, time to wake up, finding each other in your dreams, connecting astrally many times. All of this was happening for the last year. And there were certain points along the year where there was a massive influx of light. And that light would be almost like a lightning bolt striking your beloved and saying, it's time to wake up. It struck us too, but in a different way. Those of us who are more on this path and more aware of what's happening, it hit us as well. We just had it slightly different. And what I mean by that is we're aware. We're more aware. Of course, we felt the exhaustion, we felt the energy, we felt the flow of stuff. But our beloved was actually feeling the massive energy coming in and was like, whoo, yes, I got to do this, and started moving, and then would get scared, get frightened, overwhelmed. All these emotions would start surfacing, and they were like, nope, got to push that back down, can't feel it, can't go there, can't go there. And as divine masculine energy, well, actually, as a male brain, there is actual scientific evidence that shows the male brain processes differently than the female brain. And part of that is, perhaps I want to say, it's more influenced by not just biology. I think it's influenced by the environment and the nurturing and the way perception is created from a young age based on external circumstances, the environment they're in. So that's a whole rambling that I can go into, but I'm going to stop because I want to stay on the topic as much as I can. And I'm not very good about it. We all know this. I like to ramble. So the masculine is able to, no, can't feel that. Got to push it away. Got to push it away. Oh, let's compartmentalize. I can feel that here. And then it gets a little out of control. I'm going to push it further back. And so that's what they've been doing over the last year. So the wake-up's coming in. The energy's coming in, pouncing in on them. And they're like, oh, nope, can't go there, can't feel it. Now, the energy is different. And so what I've asked my guides to explain to me what's going on so I can share that with all of you, they said the energy is very different. There is a call to action because our beloveds have been able to just squash it down, push it down. Nope, not going there, not going there. They're now being divinely guided, let's say. Not that they have not been before, but divinely guided with a little extra nudge to be awakened in this energy. Now, that could be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual crises, if you will, going on. Please know that no matter what it is, your divine beloved twin flame is protected and is surrounded in pink light, soft energy, and they are being totally protected through this whole change that's going on within them. So even if it is a physical crisis, please recognize that it is just simply a call to spirit, a call to action to your beloved spirit to say, hey, this is what I want to do. I need to do it now. And not allowing them to distract, because they're very good at distracting, as we are too. So they are very good at distracting themselves from what their path is calling them to. So they're actually being called from their soul. And it's different because, remember, back in January, they started to have an awakening in their heart. So they're starting to feel things differently, and their hearts are melting and breaking down and opening up more. When that's happening, they can receive it differently. They can receive spirit in them more fully. And if they're denying themselves, denying, distracting, it's going to get louder and louder and louder. It can't be quieted down. And what's really interesting is my guides were like saying to me that it is really time that they're being awakened. It is so necessary on our planet for us to come together. And I asked, well, what does that mean for me and for us, the other twin? And they said that the other twin is going to experience that awakening within them. So while our beloved is awakening, we're going to feel some of that, and we're going to have it reverberate into our reality. We are so merged. And, I have to say, I've been merged with my beloved for years now, and probably more so in the last several. I'd say the last half of the time I've known him. It'll be 12 years in May. But in the last, I'd say 5-6 years, I truly feel everything with this man in a way that is practically unbelievable. So like the confusion thing was totally his. And when I recognized it, I was a little better, but then I would get caught up in it again because I just didn't feel like me. I felt off. And a lot of you have. That's the energy, and that's the shifting that's taking place within your beloved. So they feel off because they're being like knocked off their reality. So their foundation is being shifted. Like things are being pulled out from beneath them purposefully so that they actually look at things differently, and they're aware and they're seeing it. And the other piece of it is that I wrote this inside my blog because I have a whole section about twin flames in there. But I'm going to share an example from the blog because this might help you understand it a little better. So your twin is being awakened. But they're not only being awakened to, I'm a twin flame. They're being awakened to the fact that they are a spiritual being in a human body. And they're being awakened to the fact that they are truly a love-filled being, and they're filled with light, and that their job and mission here is completely different than what they ever experienced or thought they were. And so that is like a reality shift for them in many ways, many different levels and dimensions, because reality is they're not used to that. They don't understand that fully because they're not living that. And, for those of you who have a very spiritual twin, please recognize they're doing it. They were maybe doing their work from their spiritual work from their head, not necessarily always in their heart. Now they're more in their heart. It's trying to bring those back into balance. And really, our divine masculine is like really trying to balance. Our divine feminine is too, like within us. We are as well. But the divine masculine, particularly, it's like their time right now to like start to embody who they are. So that's a big deal. So the example that I wanted to share with you is a lot of people, myself included, doubts were surfacing out of nowhere, like true doubting of like, is this ever going to happen? I'm sure you've heard this one, or you feel this one. Is this ever going to happen? Like, are they ever going to come here? Like, what is the story? Are they capable? Will they do this? Do they want to do this? Questioning every single thing about our twin. That questioning and that doubting is reflecting what is actually happening with your twin. They're doubting, are they too old for this? Can they really change their life in this way? Can they make these massive shifts within themselves? Now, I'm saying they're asking all these questions. I don't know that they're actually sitting there in a mirror looking and saying, can I leave my spouse? Can I leave my current situation? Can I leave my job? No, I don't think they're doing that. They might be doing that in their head. I don't think they're all consciously doing that, but I think quite a few are, to be honest with you, because I feel like universe is forcing them. Spirit's like, hey, no, now. So as I'm talking about all this, I have to tell you, I could feel my heart chakra getting heavier. And one of the things that I've recognized over the last week, my heart chakra has been heavy and a mess, but it's because my beloved is in a mess. And I had a friend of mine work on me yesterday because I was really hurting with my back. And they were like, oh, yes, I worked on your twin a lot of the time. So half the session was you, half the session was your twin. He's like right there next to you, and his heart's a mess. And it was like they worked a lot there. And right now I'm speaking about him, and I think he's feeling it, and he's understanding it a little bit. And I think it's like almost overwhelming to him. But not in a bad way. I feel like it's a good way to open up, to change the energy from where it's been. So you're doubting, but your beloved is doubting whether they're capable of doing this, because this is a different world for them. It's a different energy. And I'm just even speaking, just getting more spiritual, or getting more open, and recognizing more of their intuition, or recognizing, oh my God, I crave the love of my life and it's not here. And maybe recognizing it is us, but that might not be the priority. The priority is like, holy crap, I'm not doing my job. I'm supposed to be doing something more. There's more for me out there. So they're revisiting things probably they've revisited many times throughout their life, but they're really revisiting it in a different way. They're revisiting it through here. So revisiting it through your heart is completely different than visiting it through your head, because your head, you can make things logical. Well, I still have time, or I did this, I did that. But when you're in your heart, you actually feel it. It goes to the core of who you are. So that's huge for our divine masculine. That's happening, and that is coming as a result of this equinox energy moving us into a balance. It's shifting our energy. Remember, we're trying to find our ground, our footing. We're trying to find our balance. So that's happening with the divine masculine right now. And as they're moving forward, this new moon energy is going to pick up pace, and it's going to start pulling that energy in further, so they start to like move a little bit more forward. Not without stuff for them to clear, not without stuff for them surfacing that they have to do action steps for. So just be on the awareness, on the awareness realm of that. Yes, things are happening. I might not see them, I might not know what they are, but they're definitely happening. My beloved is going through lots of change, lots of challenges, and recognize that you're feeling it. It's reverberating in your world, and you might just be feeling like exhausted. Well, think about it. You're one in the same. You might be in two separate bodies, but you are one soul, and that one soul is going through so much change and transformation. It's going to tire you out. So exhaustion will be one of the things that you feel. That's a normal thing. Take the time, rest, do what you need to be okay, because one of the things we do is we push. Guess what? When we're pushing, our beloved is pushing through that. But they're not pushing through the emotions. They're pushing through like, I have to do this, I have to do that. They're not like taking the time to just go inward and be like, yeah, I know I need to do that, but I really need to figure this out. So give them the time as well as giving you the time to just be with you. Okay, I have a lot. I actually wrote notes because I've been all over the place, and this is my 5th attempt, and I want to make sure I didn't lose some of the stuff from what I talked about before. So let's hope we get it all. We'll see what happens. The other piece that I want to talk about, this new moon, is kind of the astrological new year. So yeah, we thought January was the new year because technically the calendar is that way, but here's the thing. You got to go by what's the new year for you, right? What's energetically the new year for you. For me, it's usually around my birthday. My birthday was March 1st, so that to me is the new year. However, January, I truly felt like people are getting all geared up for the changes in the new year, and I felt like we were still cleansing and clearing, and we're wrapping up the end of 2016. As our seasons are shifting, I feel like our years are shifting. Our astrological energies have shifted us to a place where the years are different. And I felt March was new beginnings. March was really, truly the new year. Now, I wanted to believe it was March 1st. I did, because that was my birthday. But then I was like, I was in the midst of it, like the thick of it all, and just like clearing, purging, cleansing, removing fears, removing toxins, all kinds of stuff. So all that stuff was happening, and I'm like, this is definitely not the new year. It doesn't feel very good to me. It feels kind of yucky. So you probably felt that too, and recognize that's actually where everybody else is on the planet. Now, I want to say one thing that comes into my mind that is really important for you all to know. Not one person on this planet, not one person, is immune to these energies. Every single being on this planet is feeling the transition, feeling the shift, feeling the changes, and going through some kind of internal upgrade. Everyone on the planet. So if you have people out there that act like they're perfectly fine, please know, inside, changes are happening, taking place. So some of us are more capable of handling the shifting, right? We're more capable because we've been working on it for a while. And if you have done and heeded the advice that my guides have been giving you for months now, raise your frequency, raise your frequency, raise your frequency, raise your vibration, raise your vibration. If you have done that, if you are doing that, then it is a little bit easier for you than it is for some others. So please do what you can to raise your frequency and use your voice, use your sound to like clear things, because your voice is very powerful, and just by toning your chakras, making noises just to shift the energy and raise frequency, that will happen. And keep doing what you need to do to be in alignment for yourself every day. I have a little routine that I do. I say little, but it's not for all of you. It's a really long routine. It's about 3 hours long in the morning, about an hour long at night. It doesn't have to be that way for all of you, but you should have a little routine where you bring yourself center every day, and then you ground into the earth every day, because you want to manifest everything here physically, right? Not up there. You want to manifest it here. So that's a key. That's a very important thing. The other interesting thing is, so with this new energy and this new moving forward, last year we started to embody. Back, I want to say last summer, we started to embody our 5D energy, our new light suit, if you will. And we started to embody all the tools that were available to us in the 5th dimension, because we're moving the earth into a 5th dimensional reality. And so what does that mean? Does that mean everybody on the planet is going to be in the 5th dimensional reality? No, everybody has access to the 5th dimensional reality. Some are choosing to cling clinging on to 3D because that is what they know. And actually, some of your beloveds are probably doing that. I know mine probably has. They're clinging because that's what they know, and it's easy. It's just like what they know. It might not feel good. It might not be nice at all. It might be unpleasant, but you know it, so you know what to expect. But in the 5D, you don't know what to expect. It's a new reality. It's completely different, and it's changing constantly. And you have responsibility and control in the 5D where you didn't have that so much in the 3D. So that's what's coming into this planet, right? So that's the energy. It's more and more accessible since last year. In last October, my guides had said there was a new timeline potential. Well, guess what? New timeline potentials keep coming in now. They were constantly fluctuating, but the energy is moving. The energy is the same of moving us forward into a fifth dimensional reality. So for those of us that are in the fifth dimensional reality, it doesn't mean we stop at 5D. We keep growing, right? We keep evolving. I know for myself that when I do readings, when I do healings, and when I'm channeling, or even when I'm meditating or just kind of by myself, I'm in different dimensions constantly all day, and they're higher dimensions than 5D. They're definitely not just like, oh, I'm just stuck here. It's like you move all the time. So recognize that you're raising your frequency, and your vibration is all about raising and achieving a different frequency level and achieving the ability to be interdimensional, not just, limited, because we don't want to limit ourselves, right? We never do. And so part of the energy in the journey has been, what my guides have said now for 6 months. Raise your frequency, probably longer than that because they say that all the time. Raise your frequency, go inside, and raise your vibration. It's really, really important that we do that because that helps us not only bring in this reality, but it also helps us anchor it here and helps it to all of humanity to live it, but also to help our twin to anchor it here. A lot of us have been worried that if we keep going forward, our twin will never catch up. The truth is our twin will jump to where we are. Trust that. My guides have been telling me that forever, and different times on this timeline I pulled back and I held back because I'm afraid to go forward because what if he doesn't come with me? And my guides would always say to me, he's coming with you. He will jump to where you are. And over the last year, he has done a lot of leaps that I've never thought he would do. And it might not be the exact leap that I want, the giant jump, the giant plunge into this new reality with me, yet it's coming. And he's been doing lots of leaps. So you pay attention to what's been happening energetically with you this past year, what's been happening with your beloved this past year, because lots of changes. So we have had this new 5D bodysuit on, right? And so we've been navigating it, learning to navigate it. We've been try, fail, succeed. That's all been happening. We've been doing this now for several months, and that's because we were preparing for this time. And this is where we are now. We are ready to be in that fifth dimensional reality. We are living it. The more you're in your high frequency, the more you're accessing that ability to change everything and to have more control over creation for you, whatever you're creating in your reality. You also have to recognize the reason your beloved is going through this shock phase, if you will, because I consider it like almost a shocking thing for them. The reason they're going through it is because they're now in the 5D suit, and they were supposed to be navigating and practicing that too, and they hadn't. So they're getting like this quick rundown of this is what you do, this is how you do it. Because the rules change in 5D. Remember, fifth dimensional energy is completely creation energy. It's love energy, and the way you create is through love. And it's not the old 5D paradigm where you are totally creating from your head. And so manifestations changed, receiving has changed, all kinds of energies that we were so used to doing don't work anymore. And you'll find that, and I'm assuming you found that over the last several months, but I'm also assuming that in the last few weeks particularly, you've seen where the walls are. Okay, and your blocks are being shown to you much more clearly because those are blocks and hurdles that need to be jumped over to get into this more of a 5D energy. And then also, let's see, what else did I want to share with you? Make sure I got all my little list here. Oh, okay, last thing I want to share. You are in this journey. You are not alone. We have each other. We are totally learning how to navigate this human world because all of us, as much as we all have different levels of ascension ladder that we're on, and we all have different levels of wisdom that we're using at all times, right? We're all accessing different things. But the truth is, we're all learning. We're all a soul here trying to experience and express ourselves the best that we can. And we're all here as twin flames to unite with our beloved. If you are a twin flame, you are meant to unite with your beloved. If you are aware of your twin flame. You are meant to be with that person. Now, the only thing that stops us is us, usually. Sometimes the dark gets involved and interferes, but they can't stop it. They know they can't stop it. They can interfere with it. They could postpone it because we put blocks up for us that we have to work through. But the thing is, if we clear those blocks, then there's nothing that they can keep adding on to and interfering with. And so one of the really strong messages that I've gotten over the last week was about my beloved's fear. He has a tremendous fear of leaving his old life and past life karma coming up for him. And that tells me that there's something within me that I'm probably fearing from a past life. And I can tell you one of the things that I've been afraid of was I want to have children, and I haven't had them yet in this life, and I've always wanted to have children. And I've had a lot of previous lifetimes where my children were taken from me, they were killed, or I lost them. And I think that fear has been there for me. I'm almost afraid to have them because I'm not going to be able to keep them or something. So I'm thinking recently that's come up, and I'm thinking I need to work on that. And I'm afraid that I might not have them in this life. That's a big, real fear for me. So that's something that I really need to work through, because obviously it's mirroring something in my beloved's life where he feels like he's going to lose something. So pay attention to what's coming up for you, what's surfacing, because here's the thing. If there's no more karmic baggage, or there's very little karmic baggage, no entity can amplify it. No entity can interfere with it. And if we learn how to love ourselves and treat ourselves the way we treat strangers, and we start to recognize we need to forgive ourselves and forgive our beloved, it's really, really helpful. And one of the things that I recognize, I get angry with him. I've been angry. So one of the things that I've released over the last several months, or last several weeks, has been anger. Anger towards my twin. Anger. And I actually believe that some of it's his anger. He's angry too, so I think it's amping up my anger. So we're kind of going back and forth in that. But here's the thing, I've been directing a little bit towards him, and that's not good, because I'm sure that adds to the fact that his heart is heavy, because I'm sure he feels it, and I know for a fact that he's experiencing all of that. And so one of the things that I started doing in the last 5 days particularly, and I highly recommend you doing this if you haven't already done a practice of this, but do the Ho'oponopono prayer, the forgiveness prayer. And a lot of times I will say my beloved's name and call him in and speak to him. Other times I'll just say it out loud. I'll say his name, but I'll just throw it out loud as I'm walking around the house cleaning or whatever, or if I'm driving, I'll just say the prayer. So it's very simple. All you need to say is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So those 4 phrases is the Ho'oponopono prayer. It's a Hawaiian prayer of forgiveness. There's several ways to do forgiveness, obviously. That is one of the quickest ways to do it. And I say quickest meaning that you will feel it. If you're really in tune to that's what you're releasing, you will feel it, and you'll notice it, and you'll recognize it. And as you do, you'll feel a shift within you. And I noticed the last 5 days that I've done it, I usually do it 3 times in a row, and I've done it several times a day for the last 5 days, because I know that I've been angry with him, and I know I've been angry with myself. So I'm trying to forgive me. So actually, I did it for him, but then I also looked in the mirror and said it to me as well, because I feel like it's important that I forgive me, because one of the things I neglect to realize is I'm not a perfect human being. I say that, and you're all like, yeah, no kidding. But I don't mean it. I don't mean that I'm perfect at all, because that's not what I intend to mean. I mean, I try to hold myself to a higher standard than I ever hold anybody else to, which I'm sure many of you recognize and understand what I'm saying. We try to be perfect. We're not perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be who we are. And it's funny, years ago when people, when I was younger, people say, oh, so who do you want, who do you want to date? What kind of guy do you want, or what kind of relationship do you want? And I said, I want the man who's perfect for me. And so they're like, you want a perfect man? I said, no, I didn't say a perfect man. I want the man who's perfect for me. And I want to be perfect for that person. So whatever's perfect for us, and that's us twins, right? So as twins, we are perfect for each other. There's no one that can replace us for them, and no one can replace them for us. I know many of us have been questioning whether this is going to happen or not. Many of us have thought about moving on and going further in our lives, and maybe dating other people and figuring out what to do. I can't tell you what you need to do. I can't tell you how to do it. All I can say to you is really listen to your soul on this one, because that's the truth always. And when you start to question pay attention to who's around you, because if they are going through their own insecurities, it's coming up, right? And if your beloved is questioning their journey and what they're doing, questioning the relationship they're in, you're going to question the relationship you're in with them. So even if you're not with them, you're in a relationship with them, just in case you didn't know that. Okay, I think I've rambled enough. I think I got my message out, and thank God this is the 5th time is the charm, apparently. So, and 5 is the number of change and transformation. Let's go with that. And today is just a beautiful moon day, and I want you to just enjoy this new moon and really allow yourself to release what no longer serves you and really welcome in the abundance, the love, and the beauty that you want. And I'm going to throw out a little dare to you. I dare you to dream of your twin flame and you being together this entire month, every single day. Hold a thought of the two of you holding hands and being in union. Okay, namaste. So much love to all of you beautiful beings, and I wish you blessed union. And I want to end this with a couple things. Thank you to all of you who are supporting my work. Thank you to all of you who follow me and share your stories. You mean the world to me. I feel it, and I feel you, and I hear you, and I know truly where you're at. So please know that I support you. I love you always. And I want to also let you know some update things that are coming. So on April 4th is a Twinflame, is a energy body upgrade that is going to be specific to twin flames. I got to tell you, the number 4 has been really important this year, and I think it's because it's about a foundation. I really don't even know what number 4 means other than that. To me, it's just a solid foundation. And 2 and 2 is 4. So like 2 legs, 2 arms, 4, and that's a twin flame energy. I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it in my head at the moment. That is coming up on April 4th. On April 11th, I am hosting a Twin Flame meditation, group meditation that's going to be online through webinar, or you can dial in, or you can use a webinar, depending where you are in the world. I would love for you to join us. Last month was extremely powerful, and I will put the link in here as well for that. That's $11. I want to make it feasible for as many people to join us as possible, because it was really powerful as a group of twins. When I did the meditation last month, back in this month in March, a couple weeks ago, my twin called me an hour afterwards, and he's like, I feel you more and more. And what's funny is, I don't even think he knows, he doesn't know exactly what I'm doing, but he felt it. And I think he felt it because of all of you too. We all help amp up the energy. One person, it's like 1 times the power, right? But if there's 10 of us, it's 10 times the power. So imagine how magnificent that energy can be. And there's other classes. So if you are interested, please, find me on Facebook. You can friend me if you'd like. You can also find me on my Facebook SoulStarHealing page. I put a message out every day. I try to do daily messages. Doesn't always happen, but I try to. And you can also, contact me to join my mailing list, and my email will be inside this link as well. Blessings to all of you, and have a wonderful week, and happy new moon.